That looks good to me. All right, you ready?
Right. Yeah, I wasn't born ready, but I'm ready.
Was I about to go into my host speak?
Your host speech. All right, go right ahead.
All right, here we are with another new guest who dis. And and Brian, who are we here with today?
We are here with we're here with Calvin and Ernesto from the band Malinche.
Woo!
Yeah.
Golf clap for them.
Golf clap.
Golf clap.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, not much, man. We're happy that you guys got us on, man. We've been working our asses off for the last year, playing a bunch of shows, and we just put out a single.
Yes, you did, and I gotta say it was a very, very great single. When it dropped, I was like, this is the shit.
For anybody else listening, you wanna tell them what the single is?
Yeah, it was in workshop for a long time. We recorded it maybe like the first couple of weeks that I was able to join the band. Ern put a lot of work into it. He pretty much is the brains and bronze behind the song. Did a lot of editing. Yeah, and the way he structured the song really made it complete. Especially the vocals patterns that he pretty much like laid out for me to make the song even cooler, and then like the interlude that he came up with really tied the song in, and then just his drums and everyone's guitar work is really what makes the song. So that's the man, Ern's the man.
So the song is 100% just self-produced then?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we created the only thing we didn't do is the mastering. The mixing I did, tracking we did, the writing we did, the sweating, the being mad at each other, all that was us. So yeah,
sweat.
Almost probably 95% in-house.
All right. Yeah, and then you send it off to somebody for the mastering because you're like, that part's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, like I appreciate now that I'm actually in it. I appreciate engineers and the work they do and everything they do, and I appreciate how they do it. But once I figure out how to do it myself, it's on 100% DIY.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I think that's so important for anything in a band in general. With Vicious Attack, our drummer Fabian, he's a photographer, he's a painter, so it's like whenever it's time, to come up with some artwork or something, or take some photos, it's like the question of, well, how much is this going to cost us doesn't even come into question.
Yeah.
We have like 5 or 6 music videos or something like that we never paid a penny for because we're all, I edit, obviously I edit. we're doing this right now. But I edit video, and I could do Photoshop stuff and all that good. And I've also designed a lot of our shirts and stuff. So if you can ever do that stuff in house and not have to shell out money, that's always
Also
good.
I want to give a shout out to Raul, Raulito's Meats. I reached out to him a while ago, and I was like, he's a butcher. He does everything from slaughtering to from taking whole cattle apart, like everything. And I was like, hey man, you got some pig heads, huh? So like hanging around. He's like, yeah, bro, give me to the end of the day. And he sent like 4 or 5 pictures of just sliced up pig brains. And then he's like, he goes, oh wait, I'll get artsy with it. And he made like a pile of pig heads, like in a circle.
Yeah.
Well, we picked the one we wanted to use, and Ern edited it up. And so yeah, shout out to Raulito for that.
Jesus
So wait,
Christ.
that was an actual like.
Yeah, that's a.
I-
That's
Yeah, the album art for the single is an actual pig head that I just I was like, all right, let's use it. Let's figure it out. When Calvin sent us the pictures, we're like, hey man, this looks cool. Let's just figure out how to make it happen, and then we made it happen. So yeah, shout out to him for
Yeah, he
us
sent
out.
us he sent like 8 pictures.
Oh, so you didn't have to actually be in the room when all of this went down.
No, I did visit the facility though. I recently I just went down there to check it out, and I remember talking to him, and I'm like, bro, is this weird? But I know this is like where the slaughter room is, but fucking smells really good in here. Hanging meat. I was like, man, it smells fucking good in here.
Oh man, that's the opposite of what. Like, I remember one time a band. I forgot the name of the band, but they went on like first, and they were like a black metal band, and
you told me this story already.
They had like an altar with candles and a bunch of assorted shit, if you will, on the table, and in the middle they put a plate, and they opened like what looked like kind of you would get from like Jewel, like a saran wrap with a little paper underneath. They unwrapped it and threw a pig's head up there on the the dish.
Carnitas.
Yeah,
Carnitas right there.
And they took forever to set up. So the pig head, which I'm sure at one point was refrigerated, was no longer refrigerated. And the smell that just lingered was just like,
and that's hip hop, man. That's hip hop.
The commitment.
I mean, yeah, I remember he told me that, and I'm like, I wish I was there to see it, but at the same time, smelling that probably would have.
Yeah. I was pissed off. I'm like, you guys better fucking be good. That's all I know.
Mike, it's a black metal band. We all know how most black metal bands sound, and that's the beauty of it, in my opinion. Controversial thought, people's like black metal sounds like I love it. But yeah, the other it appreciate the aesthetic, Mike.
Yeah.
No, but that's pretty sick because when I saw it, I was like, that looks pretty realistic. And then you just it was just edited, but I was like, that's pretty sick.
That is pretty cool. I mean, Jesus Christ! In the
man.
Yeah, in the age of like AI and like. It's like, oh, that could be real. That might be real.
No, definitely authentic. Definitely. I mean, everything we try to do is DIY, man. We try to get as creative as we can, just because we have the creativity. So why not use it? And we're also stoners. We're mad stoners. So you start dazing off in ideas, and then boom, pig head album art.
Yeah.
It happens.
No, that's sick. That's awesome. Like I think this is. You guys are like the first band that literally used a severed pig's head for an actual album cover. It's like that's some peak creativity.
And here it is. No.
And here it is.
You're like, I talk to it every time I stream.
What was I gonna say? Why don't you like tell us the history of Malinche? Like how like I know Calvin joined at some point. What was it, last year? I think.
Yeah.
But, maybe like tell us the history, how it all started, or how long have you guys been in the band?
For sure. We Calvin joined about a year ago, but Malinche stems, I think at this point, 10 years. We've been around for a minute. It originated between me, Fern, the guitarist, Danny, the bassist, and at the time, the vocalist. We all came together from different projects, and we were just like, hey man, let's jam. We had nothing better to do, honestly. It was just kind of like we wanted to experiment outside of our other projects. I come from a band called Damnation from back in the day.
Oh, I remember that band.
Fern comes from a band called Mara. Danny was in a band called Homicidal Squirrels. So we were all kind of all over the place, but we wanted to kind of play. Cool band name.
That's a good name.
It's dope. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to just play. At the time, it was punk. We wanted to experiment with punk music, just punk, grindcore, fast, short, to the point music. And then from there, we all started drinking Malort. Um, that's the preferred drink of choice. We still say to this day that Malinche was founded on Malort because
Oh boy.
there's pictures on our social media where every practice there was a bottle of Malort, if not two bottles of Malort. Anywhere we would go, it was because of Malort.
Do you just hate your bodies? Is that
Oh,
what that is?
we love Malort. Like I had at this point we tried the Malort ice cream, the Malort smoothie. Danny was the only one that was able to get the Malort passport. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the passport when you do
No.
the city bar hop thing.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I think one of my friends might have posted. His name's Jace. He's in a band called Warforge. I think he might have that. I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
What
I
is-
don't work for. Shout out to Jason.
What does that entail? The Malort passport.
So there was a game or some sort of like event thing where you would have to bar hop throughout the city of Chicago and do the Chicago handshake, and you were given a Malort coin. And
All
with that
in
coin,
one night? In one night?
oh yeah, it was like I think within
my
a few hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty extensive. And then you get this coin, and now you're part of like this
Yeah.
exclusive Malort club where you can challenge other Malort
Jesus.
club members to
Yeah,
a Malort
but-
off. You know.
By the 8th bar, I like my,
Oh,
my
man.
coin, please.
Yeah, that's essentially what it was. And that's how practice was. It was just Malort and metal, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it was throughout the time.
Jesus Christ.
When we first started, we were all really into like the party scene. Weirdly enough, Malinche at a certain point, like 80% of our shows were DJs. We weren't necessarily like in the scene. We were in the scene, like we were still playing shows, but we played like a lot of like DJ shows for some reason. But I think that's because my guitarist is a DJ as well. And we would just be like that random metal band that would open up for the EDM scene. And I don't know, it was fun. It was really cool. And that's how we kind of took off at the beginning. It was kind of like a side project for everybody.
Right.
And then it kind of just picked up into an actual band. Next thing you know, we're playing crazy amount of shows here and there. And then boom, fast forward to 10 years. Here we are.
Branching out from the EDM scene.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily, we never got into that style of music, but we jumped from punk. I think we play like a weird mixture of like hardcore, metalcore, punkcore, Malortcore, cores all over the place. But yeah, now with Calvin, when we brought him in, shout out to Danny. Danny's been an amazing vocalist throughout this whole time. But we also felt that we just wanted like a little bit of a refresher. And Danny's like, I want to play bass. We're like, all right, cool. So we brought in Calvin, and I knew Calvin since back in the day, since from all his other bands, 1837, Barossa, and even going back to As We March. I was a fan of Calvin's from As We March way back in the day. So as soon as I heard Calvin was free as a free agent, I'm like, yo, I got to get this guy in the band. I loved his vocals, and then we brought him in a year ago. I'm like, hey man, we got this one song that's out on Spotify. Shout out to that. I'm like, hey, I need to put you on this. Boom, we got him on there, and then now I think this is the new page for Malinche. I think we're trying to find our new groove with Calvin, and it's pretty fun so far.
Good, because I was always a fan of Malinche. Like when I first saw them, I was like, "No, this is something." Like if I remember saying it, I think I saw you guys at Grandma's house, and I was like, if I ever I remember saying to myself, I was like, man, if I ever get a chance to fucking play with these guys, I'm jumping on it. and because I just loved how like fast and unpredictable their set was. And then you're getting like fucking 15 songs in 20 minutes. So I was like, I want to do that. So after everything happened with my own bands, literally maybe like a couple of weeks after, I get a text. I think from Ern, and I swear to God, I was in my room and I read the text, and I think I was playing a video game. I paused the video game, walked out of my room, and just went like the biggest, like fuck it. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm back, baby.
Nice.
And then we just literally just been playing just some really fun shows. This is our second single now, so I think we're at a good pace for 1 year, or well, for my first year. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I remember when Brian was telling me that you had joined the band. I'm like, man, like I feel when you guys when you said that you've been around for a while, I'm like, yeah, I remember you from like, I don't know, Vicious Attack has been a band since 2012, I believe, or something like that, 2008 maybe. And I remember that name. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I think we've played shows with you guys before.
Yeah, I think we have. It's just a lot of weed has convoluted all this up here. So
Yeah,
at this point, I'm like, yeah, yes, we have. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, just who remembers anything anymore from these shows? I feel like I've played so many goddamn shows in my life at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it all becomes a blur at some point.
Yeah.
Like, there's sometimes I'm playing a show and like someone that I played like from a show like who knows when comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "What was your name again?" Oh, that man. I was like,
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
hey, what's up, dude?
It
Yeah,
becomes hard to
you.
keep up. That's the thing. Is like, oh, we have.
That happens to me so much where a dude will enthusiastically come up to me. Hey, what's going on, dude? How you been? I'm like, I've been great. How about you, dude? Like, oh, I'm doing all right. My mom's all right. I remember. I'm like, good.
Yeah, everybody looks fucking different. We're all like,
Yeah.
like 15, 20 years older now. People, yeah, it's the same thing with me. Like, what up, dude? They got like facial hair and shit now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I went to a show recently, and a dude came up to me, and he's like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, great." And he's like, "I ended up buying that house." I'm like, "Cool."
What house?
I'm like, "I don't remember us ever having this conversation. I don't remember you." But yeah, it's just kind of funny. I also don't want to come off as like a dick bag, so I'm like, yeah, I just got to play along, unfortunately.
No, see, I tried to be polite. I'm like, wait a minute, who are you again? I'm like, I was like, I remember you, but I don't remember your name. Oh, you're that guy. It's like,
Yeah, not me.
Just play along with it. Yeah, man. I remember that house, bro. Yeah, that house.
Great.
Man. Beautiful house.
Great house.
Great house.
greatness.
I just be honest. I just be honest with him. I'd be like, I'm sorry, man. I'm way too high right now.
Yeah. You're like, was I really drunk? Was I really drunk on Malort when we met? All right. So the single, right? You've got a single out currently right now. Is that like kind of the beginning of like an EP that will be coming out, or is this just trying to get your vocals on something? Because right now I feel with a lot of artists, they're doing like the single strategy where they'll just keep sprinkling out like little singles here and there, versus like an entire release, or they'll release single, and then they'll just throw it all on like a compilation or an EP or something at some point.
Yeah, so we put out a single with Calvin, like literally as soon as he jumped in the band. It was something that me and Fern were working on,
right?
Kind of in the like, we just wanted a new style, like a little bit heavier music or whatever. That song was called Satanas.
I remember.
So we put out that one, and that was kind of like let's see what Calvin's got type of song, but also to kind of like the single strategy to kind of just get things out there, get it into the ether. With Off Me, like Calvin said, we've been sitting on this song for a minute, to be honest. We did the tracking, we did the recording, but man, there was just something about the mix that, like, it was just like, bro, it's not doing it's not doing the one thing that I needed to do forever. But then we're just like, you know what, it's about time. We need to get it off and get it out there. So we put that one out as another kind of taste of what Calvin brings to the band.
Okay.
And I personally really like Calvin's lyrics. I like what he's saying in this song. We got a lyric video coming out soon, by the way. So plug that in. But in terms of the future, we're working on what was an EP. Now it's a full length album. The last time Malinche put out an album was probably like almost 5 years ago or so. Technically, we've only put out one album, but we've put out like a ton of EPs that are like 3 songs, 5 songs. I'm personally over that mentality already. Like, I kind of feel that if we're going to establish a good sound with Calvin, we got to bring it. We got to bring that full,
length.
Yeah, the full length, the value menu. You know what I'm saying? We got to get the whole thing going.
It is-
So
I was just gonna
I'm
say, it
sorry.
is funny how like that mentality changes so frequently. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of doing EPs, and then you do a full length, and you're like, I don't want to do that again for a while, and then you go back to EPs.
I mean, I definitely that's where I was, but since we've taken over the mixing, the tracking, and all that, we can do it at our own leisure, but also like with the detail that we want. You know, the sounds we want, the tones we want. I could sit there and be like, Calvin, no, enunciate your S, bro, like 30 times.
He did that.
You know, but I also feel like as at this far into the game, I really want to put out like what I would consider like a banger, like my full out ideas, our full out ideas into one big project that I feel like we can showcase and people could listen to from track 1 to track 8. And yeah, we're putting out like an 8 to 10 song album, but we definitely want to make sure that it's like not just a taste of what we got, it's the whole thing. And then in terms of like the live stuff, we want to be lazy, to be honest. We want to put out an album so that we have to stop writing for a while. We could just play music, play songs, play shows, and have like this set sound with Calvin in it to really bring.
Well, dude, it's like, you know, when you release an album, it's almost freeing. It's like, all right, here's the album. All of the shit now that we are going to come out has to do with the album, whether it's podcasts like this one, or like, you know, you do music videos or playthroughs, or in your case, you've got your lyric music video, like, you know, just supporting that for, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half.
I mean,
2 years,
it all
whatever.
Depends. Some bands
you
do 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I mean, it depends.
Oh, yeah. I get the itch. I get the itch bad. Once something is released, my mind is already like, okay, we got to write some new music. Okay, I'm bored with it. So like, that's the one thing these guys got to rein me in all the time. Like,
yeah, you got to hold back. Unfortunately, you just got to let it breathe, and you know, because it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of people who will have heard it. But, you know, every time you play a new show, every time you get into a new demographic, let's say you play like a really big show, there's a huge chance that a lot of those people have no clue who you are, you know?
Yep.
So
I will say, though, I mean, it's always good to, you know, work, just focus on the next step, you know, as you're on that album cycle, just promoting it. That way, once, you know, it's that time, you'll have like something, you know, set up, and then you get to surprise everyone's like, a surprise, new material, you know.
Yeah, that's always a great feeling to have, to like that new music feel, because I mean, I agree with you 100%. Like, there's audiences out there that have never even heard the first song you've put out, and that's awesome. But as the guys playing the songs, like sometimes playing the same songs over and over again, it's like, okay, I need that new,
I know.
you know, that new music feel. But that's always the best of both worlds too.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, most definitely. I was gonna say, so what is so about the name Malinche? Like, what exactly, like, or what inspired you guys to pick that name, or what's the meaning behind that name, if anything?
A mixture of nonsense and blood in, blood out. There's the nonsense part is that at a certain point I used to be like I used to be a very big activist back in the day. So I was very into like the Mexica culture. I was learning the Mexica ways, learning the story La Malinche and all that stuff. And then when I had brought it up to Danny, my bassist, or I believe it was Danny, and I was like, hey, Malinche. And the first thing that came to his mind was, fucking Malinche, blood in, blood out, you fucking Miklo. And I was like, okay, cool, man, that works. And then boom, next thing you know, here we are as Malinche. There's not really a big cool story to that. It's just
I thought it meant machete when I
No, that's actually pretty cool.
Shit.
You guys are the second band that what's it called? Because I'm pretty sure you guys might have heard of him, Carrion Throne. I'm good friends with Rocha. He's literally the one who introduced me to Blood and Blood Out back then. So I was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah. Like
that movie's part of the culture. Like I feel like
you
just need to know. And Blood and Blood Out.
I remember. So there's tons of movies that my wife has never seen, you know. So I'll be like, "Wait, you've never seen the first Predator, or you've never seen any of the Alien movies?
You never
You
seen
haven't seen
Blood
any
In,
of
Blood
the,
Out?
you know, like there's so many where I'll be like, you never saw the first blah blah blah, you know." And that was one of the movies she had never seen, and I'm like, this is a weirdly long movie. All right, let's throw that out there first.
Yeah,
I only do that to SpongeBob quotes. Like if people don't get it, I'd be like, "You don't know who Smitty Werber Jagerman Jensen was?
He was number one. He was
You don't
number
know."
Yeah, my life is loaded with SpongeBob references. Even my Helix has all of my tone patches for the Helix. It's literally Wumbo, first grade, Wumbo,
Oh,
Wombology.
the study of Wumbo.
Not
the study
my-
of
I have one that
Wombology.
says-
It's first grade SpongeBob.
I have one that says it's not my wallet. There's also tartar sauce. Like every tone patch I'm gonna have. I even have a SpongeBob sticker on the Helix too. So I was like, "Yep, this is every tone patch from now on."
My favorite thing of shouting at practice is when Patrick and SpongeBob start screaming technique. Technique. Like that's my go-to SpongeBob for life, bro.
My go-to at every show, whenever a band finishes a set, is like, "All right, that was our last song." I'm like, "Do it again. I wasn't looking." I love that. I can go on with SpongeBob references.
You should have a setting called Maximum Overdrive.
I'm gonna do that. That's probably next because I'm like every tone patch. I was like, normally I would have names, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm just gonna do SpongeBob names now. Maximum Overdrive, Wumbo Wing, Wombology. Oh man,
That's legit.
Tell
That's
us, sound
legit.
guy. Can I get some more Wombo on my monitor, please?
It's like, did you set it to Wumbo?
Wumbo. Sheesh.
Yeah, the sound guy's just like, I'm gonna kill myself in front of all of you.
I mean, that's just the thing. I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe for like the older folk, they will not understand you when you're quoting SpongeBob. But most people, most our age, were like, I was like, oh yeah, I know where that's from. I probably might have a.
We're definitely we're showing our age right now for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
yeah.
oh man, that's good.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I could also probably put Finland on. Maybe, you know what? Beheading should just release a song called Finland.
Let's see.
Oh no, hold on. What are you,
Doodle
Bob?
Doodle Bob.
That's
Oh,
badass.
Doodle Bob tat.
You know, moi, yeah, whatever he said. Moi,
Mahoy, my
Dude,
boy.
it is this tattoo is so dangerous because if my shirt covers some of it, you see how that sticks out like that?
That's messed up.
I've gotten weird looks because of this tattoo, and it just kind of peeks out a little bit.
Oh,
Purposely wearing no sleeves forever, just in case.
Just kind of, just kind of hard.
so I've seen you've been approached like, what you is?
Yeah, just
I'm a
people.
SpongeBob enthusiast, bro.
No, please.
I is SpongeBob.
I is SpongeBob.
rock bottom, motherfucker.
Yeah, like, no, please. I can explain.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Fuck, what were we talking about before we delved into SpongeCore?
Yeah, the origins for the Malinche band. So it was
Okay,
just
yeah.
nonsense and. So there's one episode of SpongeBob. No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean that's pretty cool though. I was like, when I heard the name, I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. I wonder what, because I mean, most bands, you know what, that name is pretty unique. You don't really see a band called Malinche, or I was like, I wonder what the backstory to that is. I mean, it's pretty sick. I mean,
that's a better answer than when Josh Middleton of Silosis was asked why his band name is that, and he's like, I don't know, it just kind of sounded cool.
I mean, it's close to that. We're not gonna lie. Like Malinche just sounds cool. Like we could have done the whole background of Malinche and who she was and all that, but honestly, we're like, man,
Yeah.
this sounds cool, and they said it in Blood and Blood Out, so that's pretty badass.
Yeah. It's funny. Vicious.
What was the name of that last band? Silosis?
Silosis. Yeah.
Ask your doctor about silosis.
Yeah. Basically.
Or
Side effects may include.
I mean, if you want to take it a step further about bands naming themselves after diseases, there's vulvodynia.
Vulvodynia.
Oh wow, I don't even know what that is.
I didn't know that was a disease.
It's a vaginal disease. That
I didn't know
That makes that even much more cooler. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite deathcore, maybe tech death bands from South Africa. I was like, yeah, but they're just those guys are fucking badass. I was supposed to open up for them, but that got canceled, unfortunately. Let's talk gear, boys. You know what? Well,
Ooh.
so I would start with you, Calvin. What do you use? It's like, you know.
Call back to a previous episode.
No, I just stick with the Samsung, the Shure microphones, man. That's my go-to. I like a cable, even if they offer me a fucking wireless, I'm always going cable. It just looks cooler.
You've
That's
gotten
about it.
That's interesting. I've never been offered a wireless microphone before.
Sometimes they're available. I'd be like, I'll stick with the cord.
I would be curious. I mean, I have no clue. I know you can buy like an expensive wireless mic setup, and I don't have that kind of money to to find out.
What about you, Ernesto? What kind of stuff you have?
Gear wise, man, I'm all over the place. Drums, I mean, I kept it cheap. I could have gone out. I really wanted to get a Sonar kit at a certain point. I'm not sure if you guys know Vic's Drum Shop that used to exist by the Music Garage.
Oh
Yeah. So I used to go there like window shopping a lot just because I wanted one of those like ridiculously like expensive kits. But then I was like, as time went on, I'm like, what for, man? You know, like there's no reason to pay $6,000 for a kit that somebody's gonna jump off of at a house show. You know, like nah, I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
So I stayed with a PDP, normal PDP. I'm an Evans Heads guy, DW hardware, pretty generic metalcore. Anything you found at Warped Tour, I had it.
Nice.
Because that's kind of where I grew up. Studio wise, I started with a crazy amount of microphones, and now I'm into MIDI. So now I've downsized to one preamp. And plugins. Those are my babies now.
Aren't plugins the greatest?
They are. I hated them at one point, but now I rely on them way too much. But
Yeah.
it's the wave of the future, man. You know, again, I'm not gonna go out and buy like a $5,000 Neve console, knowing that I can get the Waves $20 sale or whatever. And
yeah, I mean, as technology gets better, you know, it just becomes much easier to just to do it yourself. You know, have it DIY at its core.
100%. And I mean, also Malinche just comes from like a smorgasbord of sounds, just because the way we started, because it was like kind of like a side project. We were never really gear like driven. We were never like, oh, we need the best of shit. Like honestly, if you guys have ever seen us play live, Fern destroys his guitar after every set. Like he has a habit of just grabbing his guitar, raking it across his fucking cab, or smashing it on the floor. Like we never finish a set how we're supposed to finish a set, because like the last 40 seconds of the set is just Fern destroying his gear.
I've witnessed that twice.
Yeah, and Danny, the same thing. Like he never really destroyed his gear, but he's gone through a set of basses just because he like caveman slams his pickups all the time, you know. So the gear was never really our thing. It was just more so like performance and just getting the sound we wanted. Thus is why a lot of people love Fern's Telecaster sound.
Yeah.
Fern loves, and I'll speak for Fern since he's not here because he's working. That hard working man, that guy. He loves his Telecaster sound, but that's because he comes from like a 2000s metalcore sound, like your Every Time I Dies, your Poison the Wells, your that type of vibe. So he stuck with that all the way through. And I hate it with a passion, especially in the studio. I'll be like, bro, we're trying to get chugs, bro. We're trying to get like, like, but that stupid Telecaster just twangs, and I hate it with a passion. But for that reason, Fern's cultivated like a really, really creative tone for himself in the metal world. Same thing with Danny. Like Danny was we used to talk about what are they called, ding walls, the basses. A lot of those, and he's like, nah, dude, I'm just gonna find the Fender, and I'm just gonna Fender, and we're just gonna Fender, and I'm like, all right, dude, Fender it out, go ahead. So gear wise, yeah, we're kind of all over. It started out with whatever we could afford, And now that we all have big boy jobs, it's whatever we don't want to spend too much money on, you know?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's funny because there's a little ongoing theme with beheading now. So I recently got a Helix, same thing with my guitarist Ryan, and lately I've been getting asked, is it a requirement to buy a Helix to join? I'm like, not really, but I like that because...
Dude, I'm not a guitarist at all, and let me emphasize that at all. Like, I know nothing about guitar, but I'm so enamored with amp modelers that I'm every time I look at Fern at the end of every show, and I'm like, dude, your Mesa Boogie and your Telecaster has to go, bro. And you need to go get yourself a Quad Cortex like the rest of everybody else. But he's in the process. Like he's convinced himself, I think, now, especially that we've been playing with the Neural DSP stuff. But that Telecaster is not leaving anytime soon. So unfortunately,
what amp sims are you using for them?
So for this last track that we did the Gojira one.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's fun. It's really fun. And it counteracts that stupid Telecaster. It counteracts the Telecaster twang, I think. Like it gives it a little more oomph that it's missing. When we did the first single before that, we used the Fortin one, which I believe it's the
Nameless
5150. Yeah, that one. So I'm really in love with the DSP stuff, but I've played around with the bias stuff. I've played around with that clairvoyance one. But Neural DSP is where I'm at right now.
I've heard good things from the Tim Henson one because it's very, very clear, you know. Articulate. But yeah, I love the Nameless Suite. It's just so goddamn heavy.
It's so it growls. They found a really cool way to really authenticate the speaker tone, like how the speaker breathes a little bit. But I will say I finally jumped onto the world of cab simulators, so now I'm in that world of the Get Good drum cabs. And you know that's a whole nother monster of sounds and
realm.
More gear and more knowledge, but yeah, that's where we're at the moment.
I was a little worried when Brian asked you about gear. I'm like, he's a drummer, Brian. We're not going to be able to follow at all.
No, I'll also admit, like I love music. Like that's my biggest thing. Like I've been playing music since I was like a kid. I started like in classical bands and all that stuff, and I grew up playing lower brass instruments and stuff like that. Into this, I don't know why I ended up here, but I ended up here. But even though I don't know guitars, I love learning about them. I love learning about tones. I love learning about pickups, the strings they use. I criticize these guys all the time. They love me for it. But I'll sit there and be like, bro, your gauge isn't thick enough, my guy. Like, you know, your pickup is not enough, you know. So yeah, as much as I'm not a guitarist or a bassist, I do like dabbling in their gear,
right.
Because I'm just a stickler for. I like. There's a weird feeling that I get when we play shows and we sound like what I want us to sound like, or we achieve that overall sound. Like, bro, we got that. Sound that we set out to get with the stuff we got, not necessarily going out and getting that $5,000 sonar kit and the trick pedals and like, no, dude, we did it with back end, you know, Zounds.com website stuff, you know. So.
Nice.
Shout out to Zounds. I work at Zounds. But yeah.
Oh, nice.
Plug right there.
Yeah, plug. Pay me.
Sponsored by Malort and Zounds.
Yeah. Dude, if Malinche had a slogan, that would be it right there.
Yeah.
Sponsored by MalortandZounds.com. That's for sure.
I use Zounds to get my Brendan Smalls Ghost Horse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's an Explorer, but yeah, well, that's.
And he also has the other one. What was it?
I got all of them. I don't. Do you follow the Brendan Smalls at all? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know it, but I don't. Like, I'm not gonna be able to tell you exactly.
He's the creator of Metalocalypse, and he does all the music and stuff. And I've got all of his signature guitars because I'm a psycho.
Didn't he do Brendan Smalls? Did he do
Come on, you got it.
You're getting there.
The redhead kid.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
getting there.
What is it? Hey, what's
Why do
up?
I want to? It's not all in the
Hey,
family.
hey,
It's a cartoon, dude.
Hey, what's up, Brendan?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Why
is
can't I
it?
think of
It's home movies.
It's home movies.
Home
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
He was behind that as well.
Hey, what's going on, Brendan?
That show was a trip watching it as a kid. I was like, what am I watching? Am I dreaming this? I was like, oh no, never mind. It's an actual thing.
If you were watching that, it means you were up too late, Brian.
Yes, I was. Definitely. I was. I mean, same thing with Metalocalypse. I was up too late and I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, good old metal. I remember when the first episode dropped, and my sister was like, "Hey, you ever heard of that Metalocalypse show?" I'm like, "No, what's that?" He's like, I don't know. I think you would really like it. Just watching the first episode, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll check it out."
see I was channel surfing. I think I've said the story a couple times. I was just channel surfing. I listened to it, but it was also around the time when, Hispanic parents were having that, emo panic, the emo kid panic, and I was like, oh no, this might be the music of emo kids, when it wasn't. It was death metal.
Yeah.
As I told Mike, I am a very uncultured person when it comes to emo bands. I don't know nothing. Like when he was naming all of these bands, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I used to think death metal was what the emo kids were listening to, when in reality it was something much less. And I'm like, I would always, whenever my mom would step in the room, like, I'm changing the channel. What were you watching? I'm like, nothing. I'm pretty sure she thought I was watching maybe porn or something. I'm like, when it was actually Metalocalypse. But
Yeah, you were changing real quick a Cradle of Filth music video. You're like, "Oh."
That came later. But no, yeah, Metalocalypse was my early exposure to death metal, thinking it was emo kid music.
Wow.
It's funny.
I didn't think that was like. Do you guys remember the terminology screamo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
I still don't know what that is. I thought that's what emo music was, but it turns out it wasn't.
Yeah,
And now I don't know.
did too. I don't know. Like screamo, I'm 30 years old and I don't know jack shit about. I was like,
Screamo, really, I think that is just a pejorative term that people just like, they don't understand what the music is, so they're just
probably.
throw it into Screamo,
Screamo, yeah.
Yeah, like I've never understood what it was, but I mean, now my folks don't care, but back then, when there was when I was all in the headlines, they're like, I don't want you becoming this and harming. I'm like, no, I'm not. But once they saw, I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Here, I was
Hey,
like,
give me the razor blades. Give me the razor blades, Brian.
oh no. One time I was like, all right, I'm not doing it. Here, look at my arms. It's like, what it's like, you see anything? It's like, yeah, but no, when it comes, if anyone is like talking about emo bands or anything, I was like, I don't know anything. I don't. It's like, you have the hair for it. I don't know anything.
Ironically, at least in Malinche, me and Fern are huge fans of Under Oath. That's why we started jamming together, because of Under Oath. I don't know if Under Oath is considered emo. I don't think it is, but it's like post-hardcore. But
yeah, maybe
it's in the emo world, right? It's in that realm.
Column A, little column B, probably.
Yeah, for sure. But when me and Fern first started just jamming together, this was supposed to be that, and it definitely did not end up that way. But yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie though. I really dig your guys' style. You guys are the literal representation. Come to a grindcore band set 15 minutes late, you miss half the set.
Yeah,
No,
we don't. I think we stopped we're trying to stop at least one time during the set and just keep blasting through.
Yeah,
blasting through the songs.
When we started writing music early, like Danny coming from the punk background, the Homicidal Squirrels guy, he refused to write music over a minute long. He's like, I don't want it. He's like, this is boring. Once it got past a minute and a half, he's like, bro, this is a whole nother song. What are we doing? So we kind of stuck to that mantra, was like, all right, short, sweet, to the point. And then that took us to the world of connecting songs during the set. So instead of doing here's a song, let's talk afterwards. Here's another song. It was just all right. Because he was also the vocalist and technically the bass player and the vocalist, and he didn't really want a vocal.
Right.
He's like, let's just play. Let's just shut up and play. There's no need to say anything. Just go. We're gonna play 7 songs back to back, nonstop. Let's go. And it got stuck to us. And now with Calvin too, Calvin kind of learned pretty quickly. We're like, hey, dude, we're gonna play like 7 songs. Just kind of figure out where you're at, and then you got like 10 seconds to talk before we're gonna rip off another 10 more. You know.
Nice. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think with my like I honestly kind of envy that because it's like a minute and 30. Jesus Christ! I don't think even with Vicious Attack being so fast, I'll be writing a song and I'm like, oh wow, we're at the 4.5 minute mark. I'm like, is that good enough or should I
no,
cut
Mike.
something?
Mike, I mean, beheading as like so. Like, I mean, obviously, since we've been working on new material, we had a moment where it's like, I think this might be 8 minutes long.
Oh my god!
It's not, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Dream Theater.
It's like, oh, I was like, I guess we're gonna be writing 10 minutes. No, we're not. But yeah, we're like, as we was like, oh, it doesn't feel like it's been 5 minutes. What the hell?
No, I could definitely appreciate those, and I mean, I'm also in another project as well where we're playing normal 3 to 4 minute songs, and I could appreciate the unfolding of music, like how there's a storytelling to the songs. With Malinche, though, it was a level of how fast can we write music without getting drunk off of Malort and remember it. That's the key. Like this was during the time where we never recorded anything. It was just kind of like, let's play it today and meet up at next practice and let's see if it's still there because we got fucked up.
Yeah.
And that was the key. Keep it short, keep it simple.
It almost you guys sort of remind. I don't mean to interrupt, but you remind me of like Cryptopsy when they recorded Phobobile or wrote it, and they were all fucked up as well.
One of our EPs. I can't remember which one, but I think it was during the COVID time where we released something. There's a little skit that we did for fun, the shits and giggles. We were so off our asses off of some white girl, you know what I'm saying? We decided to get a little crazy that day, and we're like, can we write an EP and record it in like a day and a half? And we did it.
Oh my God.
And ironically, now we can't play the songs to the tempo that they were recorded.
Jesus.
Because we were just there. We were in the moment. Yeah. Me and Fern were having a great time that day.
You're in the pocket.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't a pocket. It was like a book bag. We were in the book bag. Like, with that stuck in there. But it was a fun time, you know. Malinche has been a ride, that's for sure.
There you go. What were you about to say, Calvin? Sorry.
I forgot.
Oh,
yeah, fantastic.
I apologize.
All right, guys. Well, while we wrap up here, why don't we talk about the future, right?
The future of Malinche.
The future.
Imagination. No.
Yeah. We talked about, obviously, you guys want to release that full length. You got some videos on the horizon. What else do you see in the future here? Like, do you have any specific ideas for the type of release? Like, do you want this to be a vinyl thing, or are you going digital? Are you doing kind of CDs? Because I find like, everybody's game plan has basically changed. Some people do still release physical media while some people don't. And then, and then obviously you got your fancy pants merch, Any ideas?
I mean, as far as the release, for sure, it's going to be digital. As far as the physical stuff, I've always wanted to do a vinyl, but I think just for myself, to be honest. It was just kind of like one of those, like, I want to have it when I die type deal to remember that I did something. I also feel like it just, I also feel like it like physical releases, it'd be cool for the nostalgia, but I also don't feel like I don't have a CD. Like, I don't carry CDs anymore. Everything is streaming.
What is it?
Right.
What's a CD?
I think there's they got creams for that now. CD. They got creams
DVD.
Because that's what
like
I haven't heard that in a while.
I'm in the book though, where I wish streaming wasn't as popular as it is, just because I feel like it's a rip off the musicians.
Yes.
But we also live in a world where streaming does, own everything, right? So I feel like that's our biggest thing. I think Malinche's biggest to-do list is we want to release this album. We want to definitely hit the road. It's something that we were able to do early in Malinche's time, just play at the neighboring states. But we definitely want to just have some fun and hit the road, play the southern states, get out of Chicago. I love Chicago. Don't get me wrong. I love Chicago, but I've had a really amazing time playing outside of Chicago with other projects, and I want to take Malinche on the road, get a little crazy out there. And like I said, once we release this album, really enjoy the album. Turn our brains off from writing and enjoy the album a little bit. We definitely want to get some merch. We haven't released merch in a long time. The last merch that we did release was Fern's face. We got Fern. Okay. I'm not sure if you guys my guitarist Fern has this really big beard. Or at the time he had like a really massive beard. So on a really high moment, I grabbed his face, I cut it out, and then I put the Malinche logo in his beard.
Oh yeah, and that's right. I remember
that was our logo for a while. So we want to bring that back, but we also want to do something else with some more merch, some Malinche merch, with the new album.
Very sick. Nice. That's pretty sick. Yeah, I definitely can't wait to hear it. I mean, you guys released first single with Calvin was fucking amazing. I mean, and then this one, honestly, just was a step further. I was like, man, I definitely can't wait for the full length.
It's always good to have stuff in the pipeline,
the crack pipeline.
Oh, for sure.
The crack pipeline.
Yeah, I think with Calvin on board, man, I think we're gonna make a nice little wave, a new chapter for Malinche, just because I personally, like I said, I love Calvin's vocals, but I love you, Danny. No disrespect to you, Danny, my bassist. But Calvin is
he's not watching this.
He'll probably watch this. But I if anybody knows me, I love football. I'm a huge Bears fan, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We'll make it there one day. But anyway, I see a lot of like this music stuff to be very similar to how like football works in general. So like when I found out Calvin was like a free agent, I'm like, yo, dude, I need a vocalist that is a vocalist.
All right, hold on. Don't say you're a Bears fan and then say what you just said, because it means you're going to hold on to him for 3 years or whatever, and then he'll go to a better team.
No, well, Calvin is the center that the Bears have needed for a while. We've needed a center since Olin Kreutz. Calvin is that guy. I'm like, bro, we need a vocalist, bro. We need a vocalist that can vocalize, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna get benched.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit a bunch,
bro. I'm Ryan pacing right now. This is Mitchell Trubisky. No, he's Caleb Williams. But my point being that with Calvin on board, I wanted somebody that can really, really hone what he's saying. So we're gonna bring out a lyric video very, very soon for the Off Me song, for the Off Me single. Right. The lyrics are super powerful in my opinion, man. They talk about I'll let Calvin explain what the lyrics are about, but I really liked how he structured everything. We worked together in the studio to get things sounding how we want it to sound, but 100% credit to Calvin and the lyrics that he wrote, how he wrote them, the ideas he brought to the table. All I did was just kind of, solidify it, but I really like the lyrics that he wrote. I really like what we're about to do, and I think it's going to be some lyrically powerful stuff we're about to bust out.
Any hints as to what it is, or you want to keep it secret?
I forgot when I wrote it, but I just took a bunch of experiences that I personally had, getting pulled over, just experiences I know other people, especially in the city and shit, have dealt with. You're moving through society and you feel like you walk past a cop and you just feel that they're watching you, they're looking at you and shit like that. So I wrote Off Me as one of the lyrics is you want to off me, yeah, I can see it, or you can off me, yeah, I can feel it. It's just that I'm trying to capture that feeling of every time you go out, you're under scrutiny by the law and shit, and I just wrote about a bunch of those instances that happened to me, and that's it. That's pretty much just the song.
Yeah.
for the upcoming album, I think the main theme is that capturing the moment. We don't have a name for it just yet because we're actually working like amongst like 4 different. You know how it goes. There's a name that comes up this week, and then next week something sounds cooler, and then the week after that you're like, that actually sounds stupid. And so we're still in that process, but I guess the idea is part of getting older, part of doing this for such a very long time is almost kind of remembering to hold on to these moments, because unfortunately I think one day this is going to come to an end, whether it's, our body's not letting us carry gear anymore up flights. Yeah, exactly. Or the Malort, one of them is going to catch up.
That's a nice impression of me, Mike.
Yeah, that's going to be you falling down on a stage in fucking Cincinnati or something.
No, I was referring to when I got pneumonia earlier in the year. I was like, that's a nice impression of you.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just that. It's capturing the moment. I think this album that's going to come up is just our moments, capturing what we got left and giving it all.
Definitely.
Well, that's very nice, and you know what? I think that's a very positive message to go out on.
Yeah, very powerful as well. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, guys, with the small amount of time we have left here.
Sunday. This Sunday we're playing at
Burlington.
Burlington, yeah, that's the 15th. Yeah, this Sunday on the 15th.
Yeah, how about you go ahead and just plug all of your shows you got coming up, because this is probably going to go out towards the end of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at the end of this month, we don't have anything after these upcoming shows. So when you guys do watch this, keep an eye out for the album. It should be coming out later this year. We'll definitely have everything out. Catch us at Malinche. Malinche Official is our handle. That for everything. We got a link tree there, so just find us there. Or find us at your nearest bar drinking Malort. We are the Loud Mexicans with Calvin. He's officially
he's an official Mexican?
He's official Mexican now. He's our Dominican cousin. Shout out to Calvin. But yeah, Malinche Official. All our info's on there. We'll have some more info coming out very, very soon.
I gotta also thank you so much for having a goddamn link tree. Do you know how many of these interviews I've done? I've had to hunt down every single one of the band's like things that they have stuff on. And it's so difficult.
No, shout out to Fern. Fern came at me one day and he's like, "Bro, we need a link tree." And I'm like, "What the fuck is that? Like, why do we need something like that?" He's like, "People need to find our stuff." And I'm like, "How do they find us in the first place?"
He did the motion like that too.
Yeah, he did all that. But yeah, shout out to Fern for getting Fern's our social media guy. He gets our stuff together there.
No, man, Linktree is awesome. It's funny how you say that, because I feel like we're on Zoom right now, and that was a conversation too. Like, we need to get on Zoom. It's like, what the fuck is Zoom?
yeah. What is that?
It's a pandemic. Everybody knows about Zoom. All right, guys. Well, make sure, I'm looking at the camera now. Make sure you follow these guys on all the platforms. Follow them on their fabulous link tree.
And listen to their music, or else it's on site. I will throw hands at you for not supporting them.
Go on your streaming platform of choice. I'm guessing you're on all of them, right?
Yeah.
All right,
except
fantastic.
for MySpace.
The face space.
The face.
Yeah, bring it back.
For real.
Where are you, Tom?
Save us, Tom. Save us.
Come back to us. All right, guys. You have a good day. Thanks for coming.
All right,
Thank you for your time.
Bye.